Hey, my friends, Derek from Bomb Socks here with another day of Bomb Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ, one bite at a time. So we last left off with Israel murmuring. Okay, you're probably like, okay, that happens a lot, right? Well, we were left off with them struggling with food and water, and those are basic needs, so I understand the struggling with that. I think we've all been in that situation, but it comes to the point where they are constantly murmuring about this. So the Lord provides. You go to chapter 16, and he provides this wonderful bread called manna. Now, what is it? Yes, that's the definition. One of the children of Israel looked down and said, "What is it?" And the Lord's like, "Yep, that's exactly what it is. It is manna. It is small bread. It is wafer-like. It is sweet, and it comes every day." Okay, so you go to verse 16 of chapter 16. The Lord gives you rules on this. It says, "This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man," so you get a certain amount. "According to the number of your persons, take ye every man for them that which are in your tents." And the children of Israel did so and gathered, some more, some less, depending upon what they needed, right? Verse 19, "Let no man leave of it until the morning, and it is available daily." Now, on the day before the Sabbath, you gather two, enough for both days, because you don't want to gather on the Sabbath, right? So, bottom line with all of that right there, how can the daily gathering of manna help you solve the problems that come your way? You know, President Nelson has mentioned to us so many times about making time daily for the Lord. This is what manna is. It is that daily gathering of the Lord. And this is what he's trying to teach them. It's the importance of having the Lord in your life on a daily basis. You go to 2 Nephi chapter 32, verse 3. It literally talks about feasting upon the words of Christ. "For behold, the words of Christ will tell you all things what you should do." I know for me, when I am taking that time daily to gather the Lord into my life, I find myself complaining less. Now, there's a cool little video series that the church put together. It's a 3-part series from Elder D. Todd Christofferson, and it is about daily bread. I would recommend you watching all 3 of them. They're phenomenal as far as explaining this concept of manna and everything. I love it. There's one in particular of these messages, it's the second one, that really hit me hard, because I think there are times where we get so overwhelmed with some of the difficulties of life, I know I do, that we tend to forget. And then what do? We start murmuring. Well, I love this message because it shows how Elder Christofferson handled some very difficult potential murmuring moments of his life and how it relates to this gathering of manna, this daily gathering. So watch this.
To a large extent, I believe our faith in God is a consequence or fruit of experience. Quite a few years ago, I made a financial investment in a small business, and it began to require more to stay afloat, and it still didn't do well, and more was required. And it became a terrible economic threat. I remember having to go before the Lord with nowhere else to turn, and in tears and pleading, just seek for anything that He would provide in His love and wisdom. What I learned in that process was what it's like to come to a point in your life where you really have nowhere to turn but to God. And in those circumstances, one truly learns how to pray and how to receive the answers that come. Sometimes it was nothing more than a feeling that things would work out somehow. No indication of how or when, but it would be all right. Sometimes it was an idea that would make a difference. And so it became, during portions of this experience, a matter of getting the manna for that day, the help that could only come from Him, from God, for the moment, not the long term, just the immediate need. I think what we have to do when the pressures are there and the clouds are dark and threatening is take life a day at a time. It helps at times not to think too far ahead and just do what the day requires. Give us this day our daily bread. We're not anticipating the hardship or suffering that might be entailed. We sometimes just have to break it down to this moment, this day. And while deliverance isn't immediate and you may not see the end, still, you've got enough for today. When this began happening in my life, my prayer was, give me a miracle, solve this problem. And it took a while to finally come to the point of saying, I'm content to get a daily help and let it take what time it takes, knowing that I can rely upon God. And it's been a blessing to me ever since to have had that rather harrowing experience because of what it meant for my relationship with Him. Maybe the greater blessing for us is to have to walk through it with Him.
This message helped me appreciate so much the phrase, give us this day our daily bread. It makes it sound like let me just focus on what I'm dealing with right now. And it almost helps you prioritize your stresses a little bit in life. I'm a big believer in that because oftentimes the anxieties that we deal with are much rooted in the future. We start worrying about things that we may not even know if they're going to happen or not. But here's Elder Christofferson saying, give me what I need today, and then let me deal with tomorrow. I think that's something that the Lord was trying to teach the children of Israel here. You gather daily. You make Christ a part of you on a daily basis. And then when the next day comes up, you keep gathering. Don't just rely on previous stuff in your life. Yes, you can look back on the goodness, but you also move forward with hope in the future. And I love that message, and I love what Elder Christofferson taught us about that. Again, I would recommend watching all three of those messages because I think they will really help us understand why the children of Israel do complain and ways to help us overcome that complaining and that murmuring. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thanks for sharing these messages. We love that you do that. Please also go check out our amazingly comfortable gospel-themed socks at bombsocks.com. Godspeed. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.